Three, two, one. What's good, everybody? Welcome back. It's your boy SBO,
And I'm Phantom.
and
And
this
this
is
is
to
to
keep
keep
it
it
real
real
with
with you.
you. Hey.
That's enough.
And guess what, everybody? Guess who is here? It's our boy Gavin.
I wasn't here for the first episode. I had some things
Yeah.
going on, but I'm here now. That's all.
Bro, yo, everybody, we finally got the trio, bro. Like
Yes,
we
sir.
It is
Yes,
finally
sir.
happening. We're all together.
we are all together and
Planeteers unite.
bro, this is gonna be dope.
I'm like, the SpongeBob out of the group,
Nah, you're not supposed. Oh my god. Well, then you're the main character then.
I guess.
Yeah.
I call being Patrick.
You definitely Patrick. You can have Patrick.
Oh, what
you
do
can
you mean
definitely.
by that?
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
I feel like I gotta be Mr. Krabs then, because I'm about that challenge.
Nah, you
know what I'm
plankton,
saying?
bro.
Yeah.
You jealous.
Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, now that we got the boys in here, how was everybody's week? How's everybody's week?
My week was pretty good. Just working a lot, the usual. Been
Yeah.
tired.
You just started your
I
job not too
started
long ago,
a
right?
New job. I have 2 jobs currently.
2?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, everybody. My boy grinding out here. My boy
Yes,
grinding.
Yes.
So how you liking it though?
It's pretty easy, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working nights, so
You like the nightlife?
I kind of do like working night because then I can just sleep in.
I hated. See, I hated that shit, bro. I hated nightlife because I was not trying to do it. I'm day shift right now, and
I
I just.
get that. I hate working nights on the weekend though. I can't do
Oh
that.
no, facts. See, and
Yeah.
that's why. That's the main reason why.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about you, man? What'd you get into?
So I started my new job this week.
Yeah, that's right. Yo,
Yeah.
give yourself a round of applause for that.
Yeah.
Bro, for real.
So big career change because I was at my last job for about 7.5 years, and now I'm starting a new one with insurance at Country Financial. And but yeah, I'm excited to see where this next part of my life takes me, and I feel like it's a bigger mental break from my last job.
Oh yeah.
And now I have a lot more time to hang
Oh,
out with
yeah.
friends and family and all that other stuff, and record more episodes of To Keep It Real with you.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
Oh man, it was good. I
I should say week, not weekend.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Just worked. I started working out again. I do this weird thing where like I work out consistently for like just about a month, and then something happens and I stop and I don't do the shit for like 2 months. And it's like, man, bro, but like the older I get, it's just like I just want to get my body on
Yeah.
point. So I worked out a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. I last worked out like 2 days ago and I still am sore as hell. Like it, man. But I'm trying to get them gains. I'm trying to get them gains.
Hey, that means you're doing it right.
Man,
Right.
but no, other than that, it just I was working, did the working out. My girl just moved in with me, so like we were just getting all that stuff settled in. One of the cats knocked her big TV over though, and I'm like, yeah, I feel really bad about that. For a second, I thought it was my dog because her little hyper ass is just always running around, but
I know what you wanted to say.
yeah, yo. But I mean, yeah, no, nothing. It was just a normal week. Just a normal week.
Right,
So, yeah.
right.
But I'm glad that I mean, hey, we're all together.
The boys are
this is
finally
dope.
here.
So now we get to show you guys how this is actually gonna go. So to kick things off, wow, I'm so sorry, Gavin, put us into our first topic.
So our first subject is Young Thug just got released out of prison and
Thug.
and he's gonna be on 15 years of probation where he can't sing about any gang related music in his songs or promote any gang related things. So how do you think that's gonna affect how he releases his music now since his music was so revolved around that?
I was honestly thinking the same thing, and I really like. So with the laundry list of stipulations that came with his release, can't talk about gang violence or promotion or any way. He's limited to the people he works with now, I believe. Like he got permission to work with Gunna because he's contractually obligated to work with them still. But yeah, man, like I don't know. Like I was talking with some homies on 2K when we were in a party and stuff. Like it was funny. The first thing this dude comes on, I don't know this guy. He's just a friend of my friend. But he was like, "Man, fuck what y'all talk about. Thug free, Thug free." Like, bro, he was more hyped than I was, and I was telling my homie about it first. But yeah, man, I don't know how this is gonna go, but like I'm intrigued because like no matter what, like Thug was the type of rapper when he first came out. I was still in that phase where I liked lyrical shit. So like when those new batch of artists like him, Uzi, and all them stuff, I wasn't fucking with it at first. But over time, like I started to like his music, and it's like, bro, he's still around. He came out in like what 2014, 2015. So he's got a 10-year career, and like the rap game, that's a successful career. So it's like he's solidified in the rap game. So it's like he's got that going for him, but this kind of changes things. And 15 years of probation, like I just heard they just started doing this now where they're giving like mad long sentences of like probation. That's crazy. That is so crazy. And I feel like he's just kind of like almost kind of being set up to be like, all right, like you fuck up, that's your ass. And it's like there's a lot of stipulations. So it's like while it's cool that he's home and everything, we still got to think about he can't move the same that he used to. So it's like that's gonna be a hell of an adjustment. So I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't know how that's gonna sound, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I mean, like Thug is like he's automatically gonna get clout from getting on probation and all that stuff and getting released from jail from like what 2.5 years
like
when
that
he was
first
in jail.
day. Yeah, controversy.
So he's automatically gonna get clout, but I think he might, since he is limited to the people he worked with, he might step back, enjoy some family time, and maybe he might step into producing. Maybe he might step more into behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, so you're thinking he might take something else up?
Right. He because if my main platform is basically shut down, I gotta find something else for grinding. Like I gotta find something else to occupy myself.
Right.
Like a lot of I don't know how his money situation is, but I would imagine like my financials went to lawyer fees, taking care of whatever I need to on the outside and things like that.
Yeah, because them bills don't stop.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're still a millionaire, but you're not collecting anything else.
That's true, but he's gonna make money out of this controversy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's gonna take the team.
So he's probably, I don't think he has yet, but he's probably gonna, what we're doing now, hopping on a podcast and just explaining his side.
That'd be dope.
About like maybe how it was for him, being in jail, what was going through his mind, what his next steps are.
Yeah.
So it's just like a wait and see. And another rapper, like as Thug got out of jail, you know who also went in jail? Tekashi.
I did. Yeah, I did see that, bro, and it's for the same thing.
Yeah, he violated his probation. He violated so, Thug, probation. If you see this, like, take notes. Like, don't violate anything on that. Like, you just got out, my boy. Like, you just got out.
I wanna ask you because like you're more familiar with like the judicial system and stuff than like I am. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe you know it or not, but like, how serious like do they take that if you violate those offenses?
Some really do. Like it's dependent on the person. Some really do. Like say,
so it's solely on like the judge.
It's not on the judge. It's depending on the individual who got probation.
I got you.
So like people who like violate their probation, violate parole, whatever it is, like some of them don't really care. They're just gonna go back to doing what they do and just hope that they don't get caught, or might move differently, but still moving the same but moving differently, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they may, still do this, but they're taking another route to do that.
They're probably being more cautious.
And then other people might think, oh, if I just move out of the city or out of the county or out of the state, I can do this somewhere else, but they, still violate and blah, 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 blah. And then you got that part that says, you know what, I've been given a second chance, which, believe it or not, is not as common as you think.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of young individuals, 18, 19, 20, who are moving a certain way, who are doing certain actions to land them in jail, land them in prison for big years. And I'm like, you just graduated high school or you just got into college. You should just be focusing on making money, minding your own business, and doing your own thing.
Right.
But they do something and they think, oh, I'm going to beat this, which some of them do. And I don't wish anything bad on those individuals.
Yeah.
But it's like they get handed, 15, 20, 25, even life, and they're not even technically old enough to drink or smoke yet.
Right.
So it's like, we only got one life. Mm-hmm. So if you want to move that route, that's you. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life and do your business, but just be careful. Yeah. And if you have been given probation, think about it. You only get, I wouldn't say you only get probation once, but like once you get probation, once you violate it, it's kind of harder to get it unless you have a really good attorney or the judge is more lenient on you. But
Right.
yeah, don't take it for granted.
Because like with this case, wasn't that like a situation where it was kind of ballsy of the lawyer to not accept that plea from the
Hmm.
state and stuff? Like, isn't
So,
that what it was?
like, on that, well, I was thinking, I was going to ask a question again, like, on the subject.
Yeah.
What do you think he did to not get jail time and get all that stuff? Because he had a snitch on a bunch of people or do some crazy stuff. That's all I'm
I
saying.
don't think.
Yeah,
Oh, my
yeah, you
bad.
good.
I don't think that he would snitch. Like, he's like you said, he's still able to work with Gunna, and I don't know how they move
Yeah,
on.
I don't think he did too. From the information that I gathered, I was like kind of gathering that the state just messed it up. Like the people that were in the case and that were like trying to build the case against Thug, I was told like they just weren't good. Like they were rookies and like they just mishandled the whole case. And so that played a big part because it wasn't like the judge didn't see fit for him to have to sit when there wasn't much evidence that really
Mhm.
proved. Like I tapped into the live of the sentencing and stuff, and I'm sitting here listening to the lawyer and he's breaking it down like, yeah, they said this, but they left this out and they
Mhm.
didn't let me do that. Like from what he was saying, it sounded like the state was really just trying to cut corners. They didn't really know what the hell they were doing. They were trying to keep the lawyer out. And so ultimately, they realized, look, dude's already been sitting for 2 years. He's, he made a statement saying, yo, I'm older. I'm trying to move different and stuff.
Mhm.
I just, and I mean, it's like they got him on 15 years of probation. So it's not like he just got away scot free, like
Mhm.
nothing happened. Like he still he's not home free yet. Technically, he's not out the woods.
Yeah.
Like he
Plus,
messes up with on this probation, it's done for.
plus
So
Rico
yeah,
Rico cases are like kind of like a catch-all.
yeah.
So
You have to
if
catch all of them, right?
so, it's basically like if we were all in a group, gang, whatever you want to call it, and it's like 15 of us, but all of us were a part of something,
Yeah,
racketeering, gang-related violence, all that other stuff, soliciting, whatever it may be. Instead of going after everybody individually, they can go after us in a RICO.
yeah.
And that right there, like,
Ties it all.
it ties it all
on.
together, and then you can, if you get into a RICO case, then you can still be charged individually,
Mhm.
but it's more of now we got you all. Now we can, essentially, how do I word this? We can essentially like make sure that we have the time to get everything done because again, like I've seen RICO cases take years,
Yeah,
where some people still sit in jail for X amount of time. Like look at Thug, he sat in jail for 2.5 years,
yeah,
versus other people who are still in YSL, still in jail
yeah,
on the same stuff. So now it's because originally he had that I'm pleading not guilty, then changed it to a guilty plea. So I don't know what was going on behind the scenes, but yeah, like RICO cases they're not far and few, but they're kind of a long cookie to crack.
yeah. They are. And like another interesting thing, he's not allowed to go back to Atlanta. Like the only times he can go there is for when he does those little because he's required to do like 4 benefits, I think, or something like that, anti-gang things a
Yeah.
year, and like he has to do them in Atlanta. So those are like the only times he can go, unless I guess there was like other special circumstances. But other than that, like he can't go back to his hometown, which
Hmm.
that part to me was kind of wild.
That would probably
I've
be
never seen him
sad.
do
I
that.
think that would mess with
That would
me
make
Yeah.
me
mentally.
feel
Yeah.
some type of way. Saying
Right.
you're not allowed somewhere, like,
Like, yeah, isn't that like a little fucked up, you would
Yeah.
think? Like,
like you're supposed to be allowed to go wherever you want.
yeah. And the only way he can go back is if he's doing like a benefit thing
It's
or
like
something.
it's like they put an order of protection.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, like almost. Yeah, like almost. Like for real. Like man, like it's a intricate case and like it's weird because like I remember when it first went down and everybody got all like put away and stuff, and I'm just like, holy shit. And it was just crazy like how long he had been in there because Gunna got out fairly quickly.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
he just like, and I didn't know how his career was gonna go, but he picked it right up. I think he's dropped like
Hmm.
2 albums since,
Yeah.
and he's doing fine. Like,
Mhm.
It kind of reminds me the situation of YND Melly. You remember he was in court for a while too.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that exact same situation. How he was in court for. He might still be.
I was gonna say, wait, isn't he still
He
in
might
there?
still be in court.
I'm pretty
And they
sure
keep
he's still in there.
They keep on using his song, "Murder on My Mind" for evidence.
And
things
that's the
Right.
thing about like
they can't do it.
that was like a whole like constitutional thing. Like, does it violate? It does not. If my lyrics cannot be used against me because that would violate my First Amendment right.
Right.
But then if the crime is like related, supposedly, allegedly, to what you rapped about,
Yeah.
like if I was rapping about, like if someone committed a crime saying, yeah, shot them in the face, then, kidnapped this person, blah, 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 and then you rap about it. It's just like, did you just incriminate yourself or are you just telling a story?
Right.
So
yeah, because there's embellishment that goes along with
exactly
making rap music.
like
Sometimes.
freedom of speech is more like freedom of protest and things like that.
Yeah.
But you can't just go online and say, hey, I'm gonna unalive this person, or I'm gonna.
You can't tell that to Tupac and Biggie back in the day.
Yeah. You can't say I'm gonna unalive this person. I'm gonna take this person against their will, and but you guys can't do anything about it because it's
right. There's a certain way to like go about it with that.
Sure.
Like because it's like there's differences, and like even when I made music and stuff, I had to embellish about some things. Like when I was like younger, and when I wasn't like having a lot of money and like living a certain lifestyle, it's like, what are you gonna do? Like hold me again? Like you gonna hold that against me in court? And be like, oh well, you said you had bitches, but in fact you really didn't.
You got no bitches.
Yeah, like the court found out that he had no bitches. In fact, so it's just like, what? Like you can't hold that shit against somebody, especially in rap. Like a lot of it is embellishment.
Yeah, it's all story most of the time.
Yes, like and they have to.
Who was that rapper that said he doesn't do what he actually like does all the time? Like, I think that was Nardo Wick. He got onto an interview and he was like, yeah, I really don't be drinking like that. I really don't be doing all that stuff. And it's just like,
I've seen what you're talking about. I don't remember who it is though.
Yeah.
So moving on to our next music subject, Tyler the Creator. He sold 297,000 in his first week of his new album.
Chromacopia.
I don't even know how to say that.
Chromacopia.
So what are your guys' impressions on the album? How do you think he's, been over the years?
You want to go first, or you want me to?
So Gavin and I listened to it on the way here, and we only listened to about half because I got a very interesting phone call. But yeah. But besides that, I mean, Tyler has always been like, he's always been extra.
Yeah.
He's always been kind of like out there and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is like, it fits, if that makes sense. It fits his persona. And I like the way that certain, it's still melodic. Like the song's ending is another song's beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And
like the transition.
Yeah, the transition is just like beautiful and all that. So Tyler, good job on that. I don't know your financial situation though, bro. But when I listened to Sticky, I was like, you got Glorilla, Sexy Red, Lil Wayne, and someone else I don't even remember. But you got them first three for 16 bars only.
And I feel like you're more upset that the Glorilla and the Sexy Red couldn't get their bars off more than.
And I was like, because when you look at like what all they're doing now, they're like turning up everything and that whatnot. Like, don't get me wrong, like it feels good to hear Lil Wayne on a track any single time.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I don't know if it was a time situation, money situation, but literally 16 bars, and I counted it.
Yeah.
16 bars per artist. And I'm like, what just happened there?
Yeah. So with me, to piggyback off that and kind of give explanation to that, I feel like it was kind of cool in a way, because it's like the traditional way is to be like, okay, I get a verse, you're gonna do more than 16 bars or whatever, and cool. But it's nice because it's like they give a little bit of like an entrance here, I'm adding to the song, and then I dip, because it's like it's all kind of flowing, like you said, it all fits. And so I feel like he knew he was the central piece of it. So it's just like, all right, I'll take these other people and we'll add them in there, but they're not going to be like a focal point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying.
I think he wanted to get that point across. But overall, though, it was funny because I kind of got into it with some people on Twitter, like when he dropped the thing for, it was definitely some Twitter beef. When he did drop the little video for Thought I Was Dead. And it was like, and not just be like that older guy, but it's just like it was a lot of younger people that were just like, this dude is mid. Like, why are we even like messing with him? Da, da, da. Everybody thinks he's that. And then I saw people like trying to pick up like old lyrics from his stuff. This is what I will say. like I said in the other episode, I've listened to Tyler the Creator since I was a sophomore in high school. At that time when he first came out, yes, shock value out the ass. He's saying messed up stuff. He's saying like crazy things. But if you like are a fan, you'll see, okay, he was kind of interested in production. Like his beats were just always kind of different, and he was making a lot of the beats. Every album that he made, I feel like he like kept getting rid of the bullshit and the like the shock value, and what was left is just who he really was and like who he wanted to do with his art. And now I think we just see, after all these albums, he's been around since like 2009, 10 or something like that. So that's a hot minute. I think we're just seeing like an evolved Tyler the Creator, and it's like I think a lot of younger people don't understand that. I think they look at his body of work right now and they're like, okay, this just isn't for me. And then they would just want to bash on other things. But it's like, that's okay. Like we need to come to a point in this world where it's like the younger and the older generation, if you don't like that, that's cool. But like let's not say shit that's not true. And like that's just kind of how I felt, because it's like you don't see a lot of other rappers
Tyler
taking
has
risks. Yeah, he has Grammys.
Tyler has Grammys,
but it's just more so like he's taking a risk, because you see category A of rappers, they're doing the same shit. They're gonna do the same videos, the same like type of sound. But then you only have a handful of artists that are gonna go against the grain, give you like a thematic feel to their videos, like have a purpose. It all flows together. And I don't know. I liked it. I don't think it was like his best one, but I was impressed, and like I've been listening to it like a lot, and I don't know. I think selling almost 300K, like it was projected. Like again, like he is one of those artists that can do that. That's why it kind of irks me a little when people are on Twitter and like younger people are like, "Dude's ass," da da da. But it's like
you're gonna feel that way though when someone says something about someone you like.
I mean, it's just like also with facts though too. Like a lot of artists, like they're not selling that high, so he's still an artist that can do that. He's among the Drakes, the Travis Scotts, all those big names. Tyler is that guy, whether you like it or not. Like he really is that guy. He can do that.
It's also like a formula, like you said. Like you have artists that are doing the same stuff because it works. There was a lyric that I listened to. It was from Lil Dicky, and it was a song "Professional Rapper" featuring Snoop Dogg.
I can't believe you just brought up Little Dicky.
Here's the thing, I don't care. He said he was trying to. Lil Dicky mentioned him along something. He was like, "I'm just trying to change the formula up," and then I just figure like traditionally you guys are doing the same thing, but then Snoop rebuttals. Well, if it's working traditionally speaking, it works. So right now we're in this era where traditionally like a bumping 808, some good snares and whatever synth will get you through. And it kind of reminds me of when Kendrick dropped not this recent album, but one of his last ones, the one that had like Father Time, We Cry Together in '95, all that stuff on it. People were like, "This is mid," and I'm like, "How?" He's talking about real stuff. He's talking about like stuff that could be going on with your next door neighbor right now. And then I was like, "Why don't you like it?" He's like, "There's nothing like hardcore about it." I'm like, "You're just only caring about stuff that bumps in the club." Yes, that is all they want right now.
And there's there's levels to the music listener experience. I feel like there's just certain people that are gonna like an album that has some depth and some sound to it.
So like going off what you said earlier, like how he started off like crazy and stuff, it kind of reminded me of Eminem's early career.
Yes.
So
there was a comparison.
They built
there
their
was a
career
comparison
on controversy.
Like they said Odd Future and all that.
No one would say.
Yeah.
And, then he's changed after certain things happened, and now they rap about some high level stuff nobody else raps about anymore, and it's kind of really impressive. And I'll be honest, I don't really listen to Tyler Creator.
I was just gonna ask, like, do you listen to him a lot?
I've seen a lot of clips of him. He's funny.
Funny. And that's the thing too. Like it's that's why he's been so successful. I feel like it's a person it's personality and music that gets your longevity. And it's like, he's always been funny as hell and like just said crazy stuff.
So, like, I liked his on that album when I was listening to it. I liked his "Hey Jane" song because it was rapping about real stuff.
I like that one too, and the beat was dope.
Being a dad and everything and stuff like that. That's
it's
real stuff.
Opening it up,
being showing who he is.
Do you like that stuff when you listen to music sometimes? So like, what's your ear level, like taste music, like taste level of music?
My favorite like rapper, I like Kendrick. I like J. Cole, Kanye before
Before,
You know?
there's an
before
expiration date with Kanye. I get that. Yeah.
Because they all rapped about some real stuff in their
Mhm.
songs, and like I could relate to that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna relate to people singing about Lamborghinis and throwing a bunch of money around and stuff like
I
that.
feel I feel the same way
I
too.
don't have that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna relate to the person that sang about how hard their life was.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this: do you believe that there's it is a temporary factor? Like if I'm rapping about all this money, this car, these bitches and whatnot, it's good for like the moment to like just to get hype and whatnot.
Mhm.
But do you believe there will be an expiration on that factor? Because the average person is never going to buy a Lambo. The average person is not going to have, thousands and hundreds of, women just at their disposal and shit like that. Do you believe there will be an expiration factor? Or do you believe it's more of it's the age of the group?
Definitely not an expiration factor. The expiration factor on people, though, for sure.
Yeah.
People around our age, when we start to get older, we don't care about that stuff. It's because kids younger than me and us, they dream about that stuff. So they're like, oh, I want that stuff. They're singing about this stuff. Oh, that's cool. This is cool.
And
so
that's
why they capture them.
I think that's what I forget sometimes with me being older and stuff. Like I'm not like I'm still a dreamer, but I'm not like I gotta do all this. Like when I was younger, like I looked up to Wiz. I wanted to smoke a lot. I wanted to be around women and I wanted to be lit and all that stuff. Now that I'm older, those priorities kind of change. So it's like I feel like that's what the disconnect is sometimes, and maybe that's why I can't see why these people on Twitter are like, yo, I think it's just mid. They're
Your
that's the
influence
whole
was
thing.
Wiz.
Hell yeah.
Okay, we
Yes.
had.
Good.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not. No.
Thank
I'm
you.
not hating. I'm not hating on.
Thank you.
Okay, let
and
me.
he's younger than me too.
Let me
and he still has
explain.
an
Hold on. Let me tell you something. Okay, I'm not hating on Wiz. I'm just saying we had clear. Like, you don't want to know who my. I wanted to do so bad when I was or I wanted to be so bad when I was like freshman. All that stuff.
Will Smith.
No. ICP. Insane Clown Posse.
Didn't you ever say something?
Dude, like as soon as I got introduced to them, I legit like went back on all their albums and all like the Great Malenko, all that stuff.
I did too, but I wasn't gonna tell these people.
Dude, I don't care. This is to keep it real with you. Okay?
You're right. Yo,
For
keep
real.
it real, man.
I'm just
You're
saying,
right.
like I was like I remember
I was blew by that.
I remember when they had a concert in Chicago, and this was like I don't know, 12, 15 years ago and stuff like that. What?
No, you're good.
No, okay.
Let's wrap it up.
So, but they I asked my mom to grab me some concert tickets, blah 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 blah.
That is wild,
dude. And I was like, I want to be a juggalo. I want to do this. I want to do that. I was drinking Faygo all the time, oversized shirts.
You asked your black mom to go to an ICP show. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Did she say yes or no?
No, she was like, "You're not doing this shit."
As she should.
She was like, "I will not support."
Thank you, Mama.
That. Okay,
fam.
Mom,
Yes.
you get one of these right here.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank
fam.
you. You get the Good Mom Award right there.
I would have had a face painted co-host right now. All right, Gavin, lead us into our next topic.
Our last music subject for today is Kendrick Lamar. His Good and Kid, Mad City is now the first hip hop album in history to chart on the Billboard 200. That's actually pretty crazy. In 12 years.
Yeah,
too.
for 12 years long, bro. And so like I've been seeing that, and it's fucking crazy. Like every year, I'll just look, it's still up there.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, from my experience, I still remember when that album came out. Again, that was the album that came out when I was in high school, and that was very much when I was in the time, and like the landscape of music was very heavily like based on what you were saying. It wasn't too much turn up and stuff like that. It was still in a time where you had to be saying stuff to kind of be successful in rap. And like, man, Kendrick was just a breath of fresh air, and just like the whole project, like that was like one of the first rap projects where I like the whole thing from start to finish, I messed with it. I remember playing Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst like all the time, bro. Like I just love that song and just the stuff that he was talking about.
Yeah.
And then you hear his parents in there, and like that was like a very well executed album that brings you into the experience of that artist and what they're going through, and like you kind of feel like you're in like Compton with him in a way, like just going through those things. And it just, man, like that is in one of my top 5 like rap albums of all time, like for real. And like that's even technically supposed to be my op right now because I fuck with Drake, but like real recognize real, and like that was an impactful album. But yes, that is impressive, and I love that album. What about you?
Like Kendrick has always been a great artist ever since from when he started all the way up to now and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Like in every album that he has dropped, he has always rapped about real stuff. He has always it's either been hype stuff, real stuff, but it's always still real.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like one of my favorite ones was I lived by We Cry Together.
Yeah,
I lived by
good one.
that recent one, and I was like, this is a back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one has done that in a minute.
That's what I thought too.
And I was like, oh my god! And then when the video dropped, I looked at it. I was like, holy shit!
yeah,
I was actually thinking about some close to home stuff, and he knows who I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm not gonna say his name, but especially recently with them, but it was it was more of a shit. I just lost my train of thought, but anyway, sorry,
it's all good.
But it like Kendrick has always been that a pinnacle in his own platform.
Yeah,
he always has. Like anything that Kendrick does, anything that Kendrick touches, it will just be good because he's not gonna bullshit you on stuff. He's not going to be like, oh, we'll do this, we do that. Like he said, literally, like this is me, raised from Compton. This is where I am now. I still remember where I'm from. This is where I am now, and I'm back and forth. And, you know, he's always going to give you a reminder about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Kendrick, I've always liked him a lot. I've liked him because he goes in so much detail into every song he puts out. Like it's crazy how much detail. Like recently when he did like the Drake, did you see the music video on what was the music video? Not Like Us. Like all the people he brought in were people.
I'm not gonna lie. I have not seen that video just off the strength of Drake. Yes, I know. Don't even look at me like that. I swear. And I knew this was going to happen one of these days.
He brought in every single person that Drake said hated him and was in that music video, including the wife and everything.
So, yeah, I've seen like little, like, you know, the little clips of it and stuff. And yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you listen to that album, like Good Kid, Mad City? Like, have you listened to that before?
No, I think I've heard some songs from it, but I don't think I've listened to the whole album.
Right.
Because like, what's that?
And I was gonna say like, cause that's the thing. It's like you're younger than us.
Yeah.
That came out when I was in high school, so it's just like
in middle school.
And like, but that's the interesting thing though. Like just with age gaps, sometimes it's just like you didn't get to experience that when that came out and stuff. So now it's something that you almost have to go back and do your homework on, or just kind of revisit for your own. Now it's different than when it premiered.
I grew up with older music.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up with 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg,
yes.
Eminem, all of them, because my parents listened to that. So
okay.
I don't really like today's music, honestly, if I'm being real.
So you were listening to a lot of, like, the older stuff.
Like the early 2000s or late 90s. All
like those,
like the early 2000s stuff. See, and that's fits. That's why when we're in the club, he knows the words and stuff. Yeah, and, like, when it's the throwbacks, when you're playing the throwbacks and everything, that's how you be knowing.
And that's the thing. A lot of these throwbacks will never go out of style. Biggie will never go out of style. Pac will never go out of style. But then you got like artists.
It's a time and a place, though. You can't be playing Pac or Biggie in the club.
Yeah, I know that. But at the same time, it's like a lot of these artists have had great albums, but this generation will only know like one or two songs. Like, do you know who Bell Biv DeVoe is?
I know who he is. I haven't heard of him in a while.
No, Bell Biv DeVoe is a group.
Yeah.
You know the song Poison?
Yeah,
Okay, so that's a group. See, a lot of kids will know the song, but they won't know. Same thing. Like Montel Jordan, you know who he is?
Okay, but you listen to a lot of other shit that like
but everybody knows. That's like, but everybody knows
stuff. I was like, my mom played that stuff when I was in. Like, you probably heard the same thing too, because we got black parents.
But we listen to stuff that they listened to like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, all that stuff.
Like,
so like Cheryl,
Boys to the Hood.
So Boys in the a lot of this stuff, like these guys will obviously their work will never go away. Like the one thing that hurt me though personally, I was in the store one day and Michael Jackson came on and like on the overhead speaker, and I was just a little bit getting into it and whatnot, and some parents were walking by and they had their daughter, and I was just like, they were also getting into it as well, and she was like, "Who is this?" I was like, "This is Michael Jackson." She's like, "Who is that?" That hurt my soul a little bit.
Yeah, there's gonna be a
He's
cutoff.
dude.
For
He
time
and
with
when
some
looking
other
back,
people.
like his 15-year death anniversary happened. 15 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was
been a while.
13. I was 12 or 13 years old.
That's
So
wild.
I think I have one more subject about music. I
Yeah.
think this might be interesting to talk about. People back then, like let's just say just any music, like Elvis, Michael Jackson, let's say Tupac and Biggie.
Mhm.
How do you think they would do now? Do you think they'd be as popular as some other people, or do you think their music's out of date?
I feel like it's gonna be like really hard to tell
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like with them not having social media, not having the same thing, because the landscape of music has changed. Back
Mhm.
then, it was a lot tougher to be an
Yeah.
artist than people understand. Now, you just buy one of these, you buy an interface and a program, you will figure out how to be a rapper or
Mhm.
whatever you want to do, and it's a lot more easier. But I mean, I
Talent's
I
another
don't
one.
think it would work. So because like history has a way, like history is history for a reason. That had to, like they had to exist in that time frame to make that music to have that
Mhm.
impact. Because
Exactly.
it's like who's to say if Tupac came out now he would have the same impact
Mhm.
because the world is not as like oh we should change or like it should that it like the
Yeah.
world is like very different now. The landscape of America a lot different now than it
Mhm.
was back then. But before, especially in black households, you had an artist who's speaking something real, giving you like different things. And so like for that time, that was, that was perfect. But I don't know that it would translate now
Mhm.
just because of like where things are at now. You got elite artists that aren't even doing the same now. We
Yeah.
got
Mhm.
Drake starting to kind of come down a little
Yeah.
now. So it's like
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
think it
right.
would.
Yep.
Yep.
You also got to think like the evolution of music is completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah.
rap nowadays, like when you look at rap before, it was like the hip hop, the hibbit, the hibbit, and all that stuff. Or like, it was hot one day, so I went to the store and bought a soda
Mhm.
and all that stuff. We're not doing that now.
Yeah.
We're
Now it's like give me that,
what
give me
we
that, give me that, give me that,
yeah.
yeah.
So back
Whoa.
then you had to
Yeah.
have the talent
Mhm.
versus now it's more like, do you have that following? Can you bring people to these shows? Can you bring people,
Yeah, that following.
that following is like really big. Like you still have to have some sort of talent,
Yeah.
but you can't. But it's not as much anymore. Like even like me being a DJ, like back then people were carrying like the milk crates of records, vinyl. My dad was doing that,
You
back
need
in
to
the
learn how
day.
to do that too.
Like I know how to play on vinyl.
You should do one night where you just do the milk crates.
Oh,
and the old
fuck.
Yeah,
That'd be hilarious.
bro. The owner of the venue is gonna be like, what the hell
And
is this?
and that's the thing. Like
These my crates.
when you, especially on like the DJ side, you'll always see critics is like, oh, back in my day, it was like, now do it on vinyl with all this. I was like, well, we're not recording on vinyl anymore.
We digital, bruh.
We digital. So like, obviously, I got to pay respects to the people that made the way to where am now. And then like 40, 50 years later, and all that, when I'm all done with this, hope I never know. But like when I'm old and gray and I put it down, people will, and new technology comes out, they'll be like, oh yeah, the people that had these, paved the way for us. And then they'll still recognize the people that, were, carrying the milk crates with records and whatnot. It's the same thing with rap. It's the same thing with every genre.
Yeah.
Rap has changed. We had to, make a development. We started here. Now we're here. Rock and roll has changed. Like now we got like a whole bunch of different metal and subgenres and whatnot.
Internet, sports.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Like, do you like look at the internet? Like, do you remember the internet being so slow because someone was on the phone?
Mhm.
Or
I was
like
just talking about this at work.
Yeah.
The older people, I brought up AOL with the older people, and they're like, "Oh my god, I
you got
remember
mail.
that." I was like, "Man, yeah." I was like, "I never messed with that. That was a
Or
little before my time."
Do you
bro.
remember? He's like, hey man, I gotta get off. You gotta call me after 7 or on the weekend.
Dude, there'd be
Yeah,
some
we
stuff,
had
like,
minutes.
I've had problems with, and I'm only 21.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
we had minutes as a limit to what we can talk to people.
Yeah.
And then the bill, it was never electronic. It was always in the mail. And then it
Mhm.
would show you like how long this number you called, how long it was,
I
and
remember
whatnot.
running that internet up on the phones when they
Uh-huh.
first did it. My mom got so pissed,
Mhm.
so pissed, but I was running it
And
up.
then my mom was telling me, don't use the internet. And if I accidentally go on the internet, I'm quickly
Yeah, there was like
hitting
a
end.
button thing.
I was like,
that
no,
you
don't do it,
that'd
don't
take
do
you
it, don't
straight
do
to
it.
the internet thing. And it's like, damn. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't think, like, the only person I think back then that could really do it now, maybe Michael Jackson, just because, dude, you can't really be bigger than Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know for sure, but yeah, you're right. Cause man, bro, like he's
the king.
He was supposed to have a song with T-Pain and Usher. Did y'all hear?
Yeah.
You hear about that?
I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm not
Dude,
gonna lie.
like,
I don't.
okay.
Nah.
With
nah.
T-Pain only being out for a few years, and you're already getting a feature from Michael Jackson and Usher, at that time it would have been big. It'd have been huge.
I just wouldn't have liked it for Michael's discography. That's all.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm a Michael fan. Like, you already know this.
Yeah.
Like, I really am. But someone leaked it, and then Michael said, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, imagine, like, if that would have... imagine how that could have changed.
I mean, I still think he would have translated. Like, like Michael
It's
Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael, like, it... Okay, so, like, hypothetically, if he didn't die and he did that tour that he was going to do, that would have boosted it up as if he even needed that. But it's just like... I don't know. I mean, he's just like, he could have been like any other, he could have been like Snoop, because like Snoop is still around. Snoop's like getting up there. So I could definitely see him being an act where it's like, he would still be around. If he still would drop a song, people would still go crazy to it.
Like, there's still Michael Jackson impersonators.
But you gotta,
have Michael Jackson on their
but you do have to take into account though, the longer you're out and the longer you're active, you will see a decline at some point. So that's why some people, like with Kurt Cobain and stuff, he's revered so high because he never really dropped down. Jimi Hendrix, he never really dropped down. Bob Marley, same thing. Like legendary acts like that, they never really dropped down. So with Michael, he never really dropped down like that.
Do you think he would still be performing now if he was alive? Or do you think he'd be more like advisory or something like that?
I don't think he'd die. He'd be too old.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know how old he is now.
He was 50 when he died.
Oh,
so right now, he'd be like 65, 66 right now.
I don't see him doing that.
Like, but you see like a lot of like, rock bands and, all those, older bands and whatnot, like AC/DC,
but they're not
Guns N' Roses.
I think the reason they still do that stuff is because they genuinely just love doing it.
True.
Yeah,
some people are just in it for the money. I think they just love playing.
Well, and like the same thing though too. Like Michael Jackson was very performative, so he's gonna dance. He's gonna do other things while he's singing. That's hard to do at that age. Those older guys that are in rock bands and stuff. I mean, yeah, the drums are going to be taxing on you, but you've been doing it for 30, 40 plus years. You know how to do that. And the singer, most of the time, even like James Hetfield with Metallica now, he's not doing the crazy stuff he was when he was like in his 20s, 30s, but he's still like in front of the mic. He's still going to sing and stuff. So it's just like, it would have to translate.
So for another subject on music, I think you told me this.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre are coming out with another album together.
Oh, yeah.
Missionary. They, prequel to... What is it?
Doggy Style. Yep.
Yeah, the sequel to Doggy Style.
Yeah, sequel to Doggy Style. What do you guys think about that?
You can take this one first. Why are you laughing?
I'm not gonna hate on it. Like obviously Snoop and Dre still got their their respects and whatnot. Put respect on the name because they definitely helped modernize the rap that we listen to this day. Even Snoop was on some Snoop has even been on some Latin tracks before too. And Dre, like he recently had his Super Bowl performance. What was it, 2 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah. So more than that, actually, but yeah.
So it's like, like people know who they are.
Yeah.
It's not now. Will it like be like the mass hit? Probably not. If it was like 20, 30 years ago, like, dude, did you know that LL Cool J came out with a new song with Eminem?
Yeah, he had a new album.
Yeah, so, and that was the thing, like, I didn't even know about it. And I think it's more of, like, advertisement, too.
Yeah.
And who is the target audience? Because your target audience, like, in your age group at that, if I'm Snoop, LL.
Your demographic.
Yeah, your demographic is like, oh, well, maybe I'll check it out. And then the people around, like, our age group, they're like, eh.
Yeah, that's the. As soon as I saw that post, that was the first thing I thought. Like, cause to me, and because I'm 30, it was like the first album came out a year before I was born. Doggy Style came out in '93. Yeah, so we're talking 31 years later.
Crazy.
But so like, kind of like what you said, like it's something that I'll check out just for like, okay, I know these people and they're legendary acts. But that's exactly what I was thinking too. Like, the translation. And, it's just like, and it's again 31 years later. I don't think that's gonna translate like that, especially when all these artists, like I'm talking all these artists, in my opinion, I feel like they don't do enough promotion. There's
Exactly.
like I don't know what it is in the last couple of years, but I feel like these artists aren't making it known when they're about to drop an album. Like I'm tapped in because I'm tapped in like that. But I'm thinking about people who aren't super tapped in. I'm not seeing advertisement for stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
necessarily. Some artists a little bit more, but for the most part, the advertisement, like I just feel like they could go a little bit more crazier. Let people know that this project is coming out. I don't know if it's like a I don't want to come off as too hard and stuff because that was
Hmm.
a tactic I tried before too. You don't want to come off too like, oh, check my stuff out. But at the
Yeah.
same time, promote it. Let like
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be like make it known that this is coming out.
Right.
But nonetheless, I mean, I think it'll be a dope moment for people older than us, people around our age, but I don't think it's going to translate to people that are
Do you think
younger.
they're gonna try to stay with their style that they had 31
Um.
years ago, or are they gonna try to, modernize a little bit with
I
a
would
couple hints of
imagine
element? Like,
I would imagine they'd have
like
to.
look at Gambino's look at Gambino's recent album, a specific trap, Yoshinoa. That's one of the
Yeah,
highlights. Where it had like an Afrobeat vibe, and then it transitioned to like a '90s
I just feel
hip
like
hop
that
vibe. Do you think like they're gonna do something completely left field and then bring it back?
no.
Me personally, I don't think they. I think they're just gonna go back to the old style. It kind of reminds me since Dre does the beats for Eminem.
Hmm.
His
Mm-hmm.
Eminem's new album had a bunch of old styles of
Did he
music.
produce that last one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he produced most of it.
Okay.
So it had a bunch of old
So
style
you kind
music.
of get an idea of like what because like with producers like projects when they produce it that gives you an idea of like what their
What to
sound is and
expect.
like how they like move
Mm-hmm.
now. So it's like I don't really remember that album that much, so I might have to dive back into that to
Mm-hmm.
kind of see like what his production's like now.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think it's gonna modernize a little bit. I think they're gonna try to tap into that sound and what they had together because for people that are younger, if you don't know the backstory with those two were like Shaq and Kobe when they came up.
For real.
Like Dr. Dre had just got done with NWA. He was doing his own thing. He linked up with Snoop Dogg very early in his career, and they
Mm-hmm.
created a sound for the West Coast. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie, we're doing our West Coast people a little dirty right now. We have to imagine that they're gonna tap in heavy for this
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
West Coast they do tap in with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Like they
Well,
are
they'll probably
legends
get
in
some
their
because
area.
Dre himself
So
made so many of the big rappers like
yeah.
J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. He made
And yeah,
like
and he's co-signed them and stay relevant
exactly,
through
Mm-hmm.
co-signing them.
exactly. He
Yes.
still produces
So
some of their
Like
I
songs.
even
actually,
like
yeah,
even Kendrick had Drake come out, or Drake come out to introduce Not Like Us in his recent
Yeah, he
concert
did.
and
yeah.
stuff.
He did.
And it's yeah because it's like a love. It's like a rite of passage when you get the stamp from Dr. Dre and in
Hmm.
the West Coast.
And
I
it's that
feel like
respect too.
so it's like
Exactly.
you know what? Honestly, I think when they drop this, it'll do really well in the West Coast.
Hmm.
Do I think it's gonna sell like Tyler Creator numbers and stuff? No. But
Probably
at the
not.
same time though, like this might just be for a culture thing.
Hmm.
This might
Mm-hmm.
just be something that is not solely for the West Coast,
Hmm.
but at the same time, this is something for y'all. Here. This is we want to get our sound back. We want
Yeah.
to tap back in because if you look at the West Coast as a whole, they've been winning. That
Mm-hmm.
shit with
Yep.
Kendrick and stuff, that them as a whole, like they got to win from that. And so now it's just like you got another legendary artist that's gonna do that. Yeah, I think it might do a little something. I don't think it's gonna go crazy, but I think it will do a little something. And I mean, for people that are older, that's gonna be dope for them because they'll be like, oh my god, they're back together. Like damn, like I already know. So yeah, I didn't. We'll have to wait and see with that one.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do that. I had no reason of doing that.
Okay. Well, all right, guys. We are at the end of our episode. So we're gonna try something a little different. Yes. Clap it up. Clap it up. My bad. I know he's gonna do that. We're gonna try something a little different with you guys, and we're gonna do our podcast a little bit differently and with our topics and stuff. And so we just want to dedicate certain episodes for certain topics. So
Yeah.
what we're gonna do with this was our music one. And the next one we're gonna do with sports, and then we'll tap in with
I
entertainment.
don't know much about that. I
So like we're
apologize.
basically just gonna put them in categories. So like for each type of person, like if you only want
Mm-hmm.
to listen to us talk about music, we'll make a playlist just for you to go watch us talk about music. And if you only
The one thing we're gonna keep out though, like we want to do all like media, pop culture. Another thing we're gonna keep out is obviously like politics, religion, all that other stuff.
Not touching that.
We're not touching that because, well, like if you have a political side, that's you. We're just not gonna touch it. If you have a religious preference, exactly.
Yeah.
We're not gonna talk about it.
Here at To Keep It Real, you can keep it real.
Exactly.
We're just not gonna.
We're not gonna keep that side.
That.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just not gonna get into all that.
But it do look like that we are close to the end of the episode, though.
Yes, we are. So everybody that tuned in, we appreciate you guys for watching the video. As always, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you like the content that you saw.
Share everything with your friends and
we also have
family.
a TikTok page too. If you want
Yes,
to follow
go
that, that's going to be starting up soon. It's at To Keep It Real with you too. So the link will be in the bio of the YouTube channel for that.
Yes. We're focusing on trying to give you guys all different forms of content as much as possible, staying heavy with the social media. We've all talked. We're committed to staying like what is the word that I'm saying? I'm sorry. We're committed to staying consistent.
Yes.
And dedicated.
That is a tongue twister.
Committed
right
to consistency.
Yes. So we're gonna do everything we can to get you guys more content. So, you know, you guys, like we said before, the more you guys grow with us, the more we will grow as a whole. And and so thank you, everybody.
Who knows? You might see a aesthetic change here soon as well.
Yes, we will have some new things coming up. But until then, catch us on the next episode.
To keep it real with you.
To keep it real with you. And we're out.
Hey. That's enough.